Hello, welcome. My name is Aaron Weber. My assignment today is to visit with you briefly and conceptually in regards to the Unicity franchise compensation plan, its power, its features, its benefits, and the way that that power can be harnessed for your benefit and the things you need to do to maximize that return. We're going to cover the concepts, the rewards, and the action items. That's the pattern we're going to follow so that you understand what you need to know and what you therefore need to do in order to maximize your earnings and potential in the plan. We'll cover the concepts first, then the rewards that apply to those concepts, and then the things that you need to focus on and the correct priority in order to obtain that maximum reward. Step number one, though, is to become a manager. That is the fundamental building block of the Unicity business. It's the core unit, if you will, the strategic business unit. It's the central competency in terms of the skill set that you need, and more importantly, not just need for yourself, but know how to be experienced at and can teach and show others how to do. It's a great first month goal for us, not just for you, but for you and I if I were your sponsor. So how do you become a manager? Well, the first month, you want to do 125 PV and 1,000 TV. Thereafter, to sustain the manager rank, it's 125 and 500, and those details are covered in more depth in other documents and presentations. But just quickly, what's PV and TV? Well, PV, personal volume, is all orders done through your personal account ID number. Team volume, or TV, is all of your PV, so it includes all of the above, plus anybody you brought into the business this first month, plus all the people that are connected to you that are not yet manager, plus if they are manager, it includes their easy ships, which usually are for the 125 PV. So it's quite straightforward over time to aggregate a consistent growing amount of TV so that both PV and TV are done automatically for you, and so you can then focus your attentions on more productive endeavors and on more leveraged and high reward activities. So how do you become a manager? Well, there's any way you can aggregate, any number of ways rather, you can aggregate that amount of volume, but there are two basic ways that have worked very, very well and continue to do so. You can buy it or you can build it. If you buy it, you basically buy your 1,000 PV now, and that gives you a great working inventory, a good cross-section of products, and enables you to be properly capitalized in your business from the get-go. If you want to build it, that's strong as well, and if you do choose that path, we recommend the structure demonstrated at the bottom there, which is you do 250 and then you find and help others do what you've just done, which is also 250. Manifest there in A, B, and C. The aggregation of those 4 250s, yours plus 3 others, is the 1,000 points of team volume, given that definition we covered before, that's required to obtain the manager rank. Either way is fine, either way is strong. Not that we don't care how you get there. Both of these ways are proven to work, and certainly most folks who get to that rank do it one of these ways. What we do care about is that together we get you to that rank as early as possible, ideally inside your very first calendar month. So, okay, we want you to be there. You want to be there. Well, why do you want to be there? Well, becoming a manager gives you a working inventory. You can become a product of the product. You can walk the talk as you're discussing the product benefits with people. It allows you to effect more timely delivery for the customers as you're speaking with folks about the business and the product. You are properly capitalized. You're starting your business properly and not from behind the 8 ball. You're ahead of things, and you've got some inventory there to work with and gives you some innate flexibility in a business sense. There's also a great commitment that is made by you in terms of placing those orders, as well as helping others do likewise, as well as great signal value to your upline that you're taking this seriously as a business and not just giving it a go, as it were. It also allows you access to significantly greater rewards more immediately as you move forward, or more rewards per se as you move forward, and we'll cover some of those as we go along. And most importantly, in my opinion, it sets a pattern of duplication. People will do what you do. As they join the business, they'll ask you 2 questions. Well, okay, I'm in. Well, what should I do my first month? You need to be able to answer that. Very quickly followed by, well, what did you do your first month? You need to be able to answer that one. And you want to answer it in a way that's beneficial to them and also to you. And this starting that first month as a manager is a great goal for you, and therefore it becomes a great instruction from you to them, and therefore a goal for them as you go forward. So what are the action items? Well, set the goal, or more than that, make the plan. to end your first month as manager. Start it as a manager if you wish by buying it, or certainly have the plan, the strategy, and the people and the work plan in place to end that first month as manager. The computer just recognizes at month end who's manager. Doesn't really matter when that occurred during the month, though again, sooner is better than later. And then find and help others do the exact same thing. That's the pattern. That's this core competency or central building block coming back again. You making and sustaining, you finding and helping others make and sustain that rank, and doing it over and over and over. The good news is that's the core building block, which you'll get very, very good at doing. It also is something that you can repeat over and over and teach and duplicate. So for those first few months, here are the suggested activities. Well, make and sustain manager yourself, the 125 and 1000 to obtain that rank, and then 125 and 500 to maintain that rank, and then find and help others do the exact same thing. In doing that, your income will come primarily from two sources. One concept called Fast Start, which we'll discuss next, and the other called Director Lifestyle Bonus, which we'll discuss subsequent to that. So I'm going to focus the rest of this presentation primarily on the detail of those rewards, because that's where your income will come from. I'll give you an introduction to other features and benefits that the plan has, but merely an introduction, because while they're there, while they're powerful, while they're unique and patent pending, while they are industry leading, they aren't relevant to you right now. Your check isn't composed largely through and by them. Your check is driven by Fast Start and Direct Lifestyle Bonus. So I'll give you a taste of what's coming later, something to look forward to, but we'll focus on these first two activities, Fast Start and DLB, right here. Okay, Fast Start. Here's the concept. We want you to start fast, and as a consequence of that, be rewarded. There's nothing like getting ahead of the curve in terms of your growth in business. There's nothing like setting a goal and achieving it and being rewarded handsomely for doing that. We want you to find, help, and teach others do what you've just done or what you're currently doing. Doesn't need to be one after the other. You can be parallel processing this while you're in progress to manager. You can be finding and helping others doing likewise. You can accelerate the growth curve in that regard. And as a consequence of that, we want you to be maximally and as soon as possibly rewarded for doing those best key activities. That engenders them in your psyche. It helps you understand the benefit and features of doing the correct activities because you get rewarded for doing that. Those who do the right things get the maximum payout, and that's quite frankly how it should be. Now here's an orange box, and you'll see a few of these in this presentation, but these are from the company's compensation plan materials. Without going through them in great detail here, I want you to be familiar with them, so as you go through the other materials provided to you or you have access to, this is a familiar looking box. But the point of this one is that there are two levels of Fast Start. One is the junior manager, which is someone that has not yet become manager but has made some good progress towards it with 500 TV. The other is manager, where they've done that one time, 1 month of 1000 TV. The significant difference there is that you as the enroller, when you're a manager, you can see that top right number of 30% in the white box versus the top left number of 15% as a junior manager. A 15% differential, a doubling of the potential income. What that basically means, if I'm a manager and I sponsor you, I'm going to get 30% on your first month's volume. If I'm only a junior manager, I'm only going to get 15%. That fact alone, over the lifetime of your distributorship, is probably worth making that extra step up to manager, making that commitment, particularly when you've got a build-it methodology way of getting there. So, as a consequence of that box, and you can refer back to that, you may have it in front of you now as we're watching, you prefer to be a manager because you're getting 30% on Fast Start rather than 15%. It helps you so you need to find and help others do as you've just done. Help them make manager, buying it or building it in the very first month. You want to also be very close to the key activity. You'll notice in that previous box that there was the manager amount, the 30%, plus there was that enroller amount right next door. If you're the enroller or the enroller of the person doing the good activity, you also get a significant reward, and then ranks thereafter get it. So you want to either have rank because you've built some business of consequence, or you want to be very close, or actually as close as possible, i.e. doing the key activity to receive the maximum reward. And then as a consequence of that, as things will occur, you want to move along the rank as a natural consequence to maintain your income in that Fast Start bonus. So here's the key considerations. It's paid on the first month of volume, So I bring in you and you do 1,000 PV, I get 30% on that because I'm a manager. It's capped at that 1,000 PV because that's the relevant target point relative to them becoming a manager, and that's the right activity being repeated. That white box portion in that chart is paid based on levels of distance, the enroller, the person doing the good thing, and the person one step removed from them. Thereafter, it's paid based on rank held by the person receiving the reward. Here's a key point for all of our bonuses, and it applies to this Fast Start one. There is no limit on the number of people or the time. You receive this reward once you've made manager and maintain that rank forever. There's no cap, likewise, number of people you can receive this reward on. It's not just for your first 6 months. It's not just for the first dozen people. Any number of people over any period of time, as long as you maintain that manager rank, you'll receive that 30%, and I'm focusing on that, obviously, Fast Start commission. So there's no small print, if you will, no restrictions in that regard. Here's an example of how it all manifests itself. If you're going on the build it in month 1, you do 250, you introduce, you find and help 2 or 3 other people do what you've just done, A, B, and C, each doing 250. You're a manager because you've got 4 250s, 1,000 at month end. You would then be paid 30% on A, likewise on B, and on C, $75 each for a total of $225. Almost got you back to a zero cost basis on your initial investment for those 250 points. That's how it works mathematically. Now, as we know, to maintain manager, it's 500 TV per month. So the great news with building it is by bringing in those 3 people on that previous slide at 250 in their first month, and they duplicate that so they can become manager as well. Next month, their auto ship is there for 125 PV, as is the requirement. And guess what? Your maintain the manager rank of 500 TV is done. Check that box, move on. PV TV is done in a sustainable manner going forward. There's no chasing rabbits and spinning plates and all those sorts of things. You've set up the structure that enables your perfect success as you go forward, both in terms of meeting requirements as well as setting the base for future growth. So build it has some real strength. But imagine for a moment if you did this. If you bought your manager order and you find and help 3 other people, again, do as you've just done, what happens? Well, A does 1,000, B and C likewise. You get 30% because you're clearly a manager, much more than. You're going to make $300 per person, not just the 75 previously, total of $900. Again, very close to a zero cost basis on your initial investment. Again, you've got the structure set up there to enable you to have those 3 frontline people and your own 125, which means going forward, your team volume is covered. So it's about the volume and the structure, and in this way you set up perfectly, not just to check the box for month number 1 and make a decent return on investment and income, but you've also set yourself up for the maintenance requirements forever going forward as you and they continue to work and build the business or use the product. Now keep in mind that $900 could be more than that because that's just the Fast Start amount. You've also got a goodly amount of working inventory. You're going to sell some of that, make a margin on it. You're at least going to recoup what you've paid for it, in which case that $900 grows. Anybody that has any degree of application in their first month that sets this structure up will get their initial investment back inside that very first month. Now, I don't know of many business opportunities where you can not just create a positive return in your first month of business, but you can also get back the investment you made to enter that business in that very first month. Almost unheard of other than right here. Any other business you want, a McDonald's franchise, for example, you probably aren't in your first month of business going to make a positive return, and you certainly aren't going to get the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars you invested to buy that franchise back inside that very first month. Using this example, together with the implied other activities, you certainly can do, many do, and there's no reason why you should not. That's a great start, certainly puts a spring in your step, provides some posture to you as you're speaking to others about the great business you've joined and the recommendation you can provide to them to do likewise. Now, a little bit of note here on strategy. You can do what's called sign and place or enroll and sponsor. The computer tracks 1, who brought the person in, and 2, where they were put. Most times that's the exact same person. I bring them in, I put them frontline to myself. But you can sign and place. I can bring people in and place them under someone else in my organization. The computer will pay Fast Start on the basis of who did the good activity, that is, who enrolled them, who brought them in. So you can begin to structure some of your business because you only need those 3 legs. That's why we set it up that way. And so if I sponsored a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th, I could put them under my 1st and 2nd and 3rd. If I sponsored a 7th, 8th, and 9th, I could put them under my 4th and 5th and 6th. So therefore, you can structure your business as is maximally of potential to you. And you put people where is good for them, obviously, but also where is beneficial to you and maybe others. So it can be of benefit to 1, 2, 3, 4 people in this conversation. That way you're focusing on your 3 legs. That way you're focusing on the people that you want to support and sustain and work with. Certainly engenders a great amount of team spirit, and you can build those 3 legs to diamond through that strategy all you wish. That is a very strong strategy, certainly has strong benefits, as does placing wherever you wish to place them. You have that complete flexibility as to how you structure your business and where you place your people as a consequence of that strategy and structure. Now, next one is Director Lifestyle Bonus, or DLB. We want to pay you a bonus for building the beginnings of a well-structured business as you continue that buy it or build it methodology and those key fundamental activities. There are 2 types of bonus in the Director Lifestyle Bonus. There's a lump sum that you receive as well as a monthly amount for 12 months thereafter. It's based on achieving and maintaining the director rank. We want you to build a real, authentic, predictable, sustainable business and reward you for that. And you do that by finding, teaching, and helping others do what you've just done or in the process of doing, which is make and sustain the manager rank. Here's one of those orange boxes again. You can see there the lump sum bonus for making the rank of director is $2,000, senior director is $3,500, executive director is $5,000. That's your lump sum you get when you obtain and maintain that rank for 2 months consecutively. Then you get that $200, $300, and $400 respectively for 12 months thereafter as you maintain that rank. The right-hand column is the sum of those 2. Now the great thing here is that you have all sorts of opportunities to earn real cash money to use as you wish to use it. Many other companies in the industry give a car bonus or other sorts of things like that, and that's wonderful. We're excited for the people that get that. But what if you already have a fine vehicle? What if you have other needs? What if you wish to spend that money on other things? Our approach is this. We'll give you the money, and you can choose to do with it as you wish. We would hope that you'd use it for a lifestyle reward, because that's why it's called Director Lifestyle Bonus, or at least the beginnings of a lifestyle reward, so that you can begin to feel even that much better about your Unicity business. But providing you the cash has the least strings attached, and most of those car programs has all sorts of strings attached to them. They're not as good as they first appear, even though they certainly look impressive from stage. They also have administrative costs that are significant, which means the end result is less to you. They usually kick in at higher levels of performance than these certainly do. This way, we figure we'll give you the cash in the most efficient manner possible, which maximizes your flexibility as to how you wish to use that. It's all over to you. We want you to have this money. We want you to get it as soon as possible. We want there to be as few strings attached as possible. So what are the action items? Well, find and help others do what you've just done, which is make and sustain manager, and what do you know? You'll become a director. Now, the structure for a director is basically this: 5,000 points of organizational volume. So if you want to call it that way, it's 5 first-month managers with at least those 3 legs again, A, B, and C, with at least 1,000 points in each, and no more in terms of balance, 60% of the required volume coming from the largest leg. So you can't build one huge leg, or more correctly, have someone else build a huge leg for you and you just have a little trickle in leg 2 and 3. There needs to be some degree of balance to prove that you're front and center relative to the building of your business. If you do that, then that lump sum is paid out to you after the 2nd consecutive month of that rank being achieved. And then the monthly amounts are paid up for those 12 months thereafter as you sustain it. The cool thing here is you can double up. If during those 12 months, say after 2 months of receiving the director bonus, you've qualified for the senior director one, you can start getting both. There's no need to wait until one is finished before you can get the next. So you can aggregate these over a very rapid period of time. And most people that are on a reasonable growth curve usually are overlapping these bonuses for the next one or even the next 2 before they've finished the first. Again, keep in mind, the Director Lifestyle Bonus is, as well as, just like Fast Start, all other income opportunities, they are a bonus in the absolute definition of that word. And again, there is no restriction on time. You don't have to do this within your first 30 seconds or 3 months or 12 months or whatever. Anytime you achieve that rank for the first time and sustain it, that lump sum is paid, and for 12 months thereafter, as you continue to sustain it, those monthly amounts are paid likewise. It's all here for you, so therefore my advice to you is why not go get it and get it as soon as possible. Now, there is other income available for you as you get started. You're going to get a personal rebate of 5% on all the volume you do, and that can become quite significant, particularly as you build a meaningful customer base. And the great thing with Unicity products is that they engender significant loyalty because they just plain work. And so people will come back to you, and you'll build a compounding user base, and you get paid 5% of that, as well as obviously the margin if you choose to sell at retail or at some other price above wholesale. That can be sometimes quite significant as well, because the margin can be 50% plus on some of these great products. And you'll begin to get over time some of these organizational overrides and commissions, which we'll talk about as we go forward. They will, over time, form the huge proportion of your check. They'll be the basis upon which most of your check is based as time goes on, as your business compounds and grows, and you get that leverage effect in your business. I covered in more detail the Fast Start and Director Lifestyle Bonus because they're the more immediate rewards upon which all, if not all, the significant majority of your check is paid in the first 3, 4, 5 months. But these organizational overrides are amazingly powerful as your business compounds over time. So those and a few other things I'll give you a brief introduction to now as we go along. So, again, the first few months, focus on Fast Start and Director Lifestyle Bonus and building that basic 3-leg structure. Get that business structure put in place. They are, even though they're early stage stuff, they are very powerful earning mechanisms. And more powerful earning mechanisms follow thereafter. And now I'll give you a bit of an introduction or an overview of them. The Infinity Share Bonuses. They're paid on the second month volume and beyond. So after Fast Start is paid, these ones begin to be paid. It's calculated and paid based on your rank. So what you have control over is your volume, your rank, your activity. And so as your business grows, this is where the vast majority of your income will flow from, as I've said before. And it's based on the following chart, another one of these orange boxes. There it is there. You can see it's a whole bunch of 5% based on rank. Keep that chart in mind. Don't need to memorize it or worry about it, but have it be familiar to you. You can see the obvious advantage of being paid in more depth as you increase in rank. So number one, achieve the rank required. And how do you do that? You do that by helping people what you've just done. We've discussed how you make director. You find and help people make manager. And therefore, as a consequence of that, you've blessed their lives, but you've also become director. Well, how do you become senior director? Well, those people that became manager, that helped you become director, you then turn around and help them become director because you've just done it, so therefore you're qualified and capable and able to teach them that. And what happens to you? As an almost natural consequence of that help of them, you become a senior director. And then the same. Basically, you turn and lift people to where you currently are or to where you've just got. The natural consequence of that activity is it will move you to that next rank. That's how things are structured. That's how the behaviors are rewarded, and that's what grows this business. But remember, the OV required, the organizational volume required, that PV-TV balance, but if you've structured your 3 legs right and you have your auto ships, that's taken care of automatically. The legs, as indicated, and the volume into them. And the one thing to keep in mind is the balance, that you need to make sure that if one leg's taking off, that's wonderful, but that you're building enough in legs 2 and 3 to ensure that you have enough balance to your single largest leg. Your payout's determined by the rank you achieve, and your rank determines the number of shares paid out. That's a word that is not used much in this industry. Usually it's levels or generations. Ours does work differently, so we call them shares, which is the most appropriate description for them. Essentially, it's a rank compression, the holy grail, if you will, in the industry. For example, a director will get 3 generations of directors paid out. Usually, in most compensation plan, if you're a director, you get 3 or 4 generations of managers paid out, which may only be 1 further generation of director. The ultimate expression is at diamond, you get 9 generations of diamond. The practical manifestation of that is, for me, I'm a diamond, get paid as a diamond. I'm actually a triple diamond, but I get paid as a diamond. I get 9 generations of diamond, which manifests itself at somewhere between 45 and 55 levels deep. So make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Shares are not generations, they are not levels. So when someone says we pay 12 generations, Well, that's only 12 generations, which may manifest itself into 18 or 20 levels. 45 to 55 levels deep, practically, for all intents and purposes, as deep as your organization is ever going to go, you will be paid based on the rank that you have, over which you have complete control, because you control the activities that drive it. This is an extremely powerful and much misunderstood or underappreciated powerful part of the plan, something that you want to become familiar with as you go forward. Once you become expert on Fast Start and Director Lifestyle Bonus, get expert on this, and the more you learn of it, the more you know of it, the more impressed you will be. We also have Presence Club bonuses. Like we had Director bonuses, we also have Presence Club bonuses. Again, same philosophy. We want to reward you for achieving meaningful levels of performance. We want to give a significant reward to begin to provide for you a taste of the lifestyle and the income levels you're working towards, and they operate in just the same way as the lump sum of Director Lifestyle Bonus, except that rather than being paid after 2 months of consecutive performance, they're paid after 3 months of consecutive qualification. And again, just like Director Lifestyle Bonus, they can overlap or be earned simultaneously. The faster you grow, the faster you get them. There's no waiting around till one period's done before you can earn the next. Here's some more orange boxes for you. This one is probably fairly easy to focus in on. As you make Presidential Director, do that for 1 month, sustain it for the second, hold it for that third in a row, $10,000 is yours. Likewise, $20,000 for Sapphire, $30,000 for Ruby, $50,000 for Diamond, for a total of $110,000. I don't know about you, but I would guess that $110,000 would be a significant benefit to you and your family's lifestyle. It certainly was to mine as I moved my way through that. It certainly is the people that I'm working with and for as they do likewise. A consistent application of the core competency of the daily activities will get you to that in a reasonable period of time. Keep in mind, you've already received a significant amount of Fast Start bonus. You've already banked and had and spent and enjoyed the Director Lifestyle bonuses. These now become an increasingly large cherry on top as you go along. The other great thing is as you earn these, your Infinity share bonuses are growing significantly month on month. That is the true residual leveraged income that is what we're looking for in this business. So these again are on top of those other features that you've either earned or are currently receiving. So what are the action items here? Well, obviously you want to achieve and sustain those ranks. You want to build a real business at those levels of performance. You want to again help others get to where you were or are. I.e., if you want to make a presidential director, you help your managers become director, and then that helps you become senior director. Then you help them become senior director, that makes you executive director. Help them become executive director, and what do you know? You're a presidential. Now, life doesn't happen that smoothly or that balanced of a format. That's the concept. Those are the activities you engage in. Doing that will get you where you want to go. Again, all the way through, be mindful of all the requirements, the OV, the legs, the volume, and the balance. Those are the three things. Notice here I've left out PV and TV, because if you build your business properly and structure it properly, have those three frontline people that are active and engaged, doing the 125 authorship, theirs and yours, checks both those boxes, you're done. No longer need to worry about it. Now you can focus all your attention on maximizing your organizational volume, on helping people do what they need to do to get to where you were or are. So now your efforts are much more leveraged, much more focused on the greater good, because you've already taken care of the housekeeping, as it were, because you've structured it properly to begin with. Another feature which is extremely powerful and unique to Unicity, and is frankly unheard of in the industry, is this additional franchise position. Once you get to the rank of Diamond, you can re-sponsor yourself, frontline to yourself, up to 3 times. The consequence of that, long story short, is that you can get paid 2 times, 3 times, or 4 times the usual payout of 5% on the incremental volume that you build in that distributorship. Essentially means that if I'm sponsoring in my 4th position, I'm paid 20% on a recurring residual basis, that's 4 times those 5%, on the volume in that position. This industry was built upon a 5% residual payout. We can double that, triple that, quadruple that on a consistent, recurring, leverage residual basis. I don't think people quite understand the power of that. To be paid 20% on the volume in that position on the same basis as the whole rest of the industry is just paid 5%. That is amazingly powerful. Diagrammatically, here's how it looks. You sponsor yourself. You've got your two legs to the left and right there, that left and center arrow. Once you're diamond, you can sponsor yourself. Anything in leg 3 and beyond can then be placed in U2. Any volume in U2, you're going to be paid 5% in U2. You're paid another 5% in U1, which means you're paid 10% rather on the volume in U2. Same thing, once U2 becomes 100,000, you can then form U3, do the exact same thing and be paid 15% on the volume in U3. Once that gets to 100,000, you can sponsor yourself again, become a crown diamond, and get 20%, which is 4 times the 5% on the incremental volume in U4. Somewhat complicated, somewhat highfalutin, waving my hands in the air here. The feature to understand is that the industry was built on 5%. There is a way that is achievable for you where you can get on that exact same payment methodology 5, 10, 15, and 20% on a recurring residual basis. Unheard of in the industry, only available in Unicity. If you want to earn the large check, if you have any degree of industry experience and skill and appreciation for the power of leverage and duplication, this is exciting to you. You can achieve this. We have a goodly number of people certainly on the way to achieving this, if not achieving portions of this, if not some achieving the whole darn lot of this. You can imagine the incremental motivation that you get as you build each new spot and realize you're being paid incrementally more for that volume that you're building. Here's another way to show it. This is the diagram you'll see in the company material. That's why I wanted to show it to you again, so it's familiar. You've seen it before when you go through those materials. You can see it's diagrammed a little bit differently, but same basic concept. You've got your first position with leg 1, leg 2. Then you've got your AFP, which is your double diamond, your additional franchise position. That builds to 100,000. Then you can get that yellow and orange AFP, and you're a triple diamond. Build that to 100,000. Then you can get the yellow and orange position, which is your AFP for crown diamond, $100,000. Each of those paid as your own upline. You'll effectively be paid as a crown diamond as 3 levels of your own upline. Doesn't mean they're not there, it just means that you're paid more on the basis of that volume because now you're that much more self-sustaining and self-sufficient. So what are the action items here? Well, clearly it's achieve the rank of diamond, sustain it, and grow the business going forward. How do you do that? You help others do what you've just done. Help them get where they want to go, which is probably where you've just been. Create your AFP, get double paid. Anything in legs 3 and beyond that you've built can be put into your first AFP and you get double dipped on. And then you can repeat that 2 more times to get triple paid and quadruple paid on that incremental volume as you go forward. Powerful, powerful feature. And then just to gild the lily a little bit, we've got the Chairman's Club bonuses. Same as Director Lifestyle, same as presidential bonuses. We want to significantly reward you for achieving very, very high levels. And these are very high levels, but they are achievable. It's a significant reward to create a lifestyle. So it does differ a little bit in the director and presidential bonuses in that they're not paid, well, they are manifest in cash, but they're paid to you in support of a lifestyle asset that you've purchased. The boat, the plane, the second home, whatever it is, Unicity will pay for those to these amounts on your behalf. It's paid again, just like the presidential ones, after 3 months of consistent qualification. And again, just like director and presidential bonuses, they can be earned simultaneously. Many do actually earn these simultaneously. Because once you get to these levels of performance, you've got dozens or hundreds, if not thousands of people, all working towards their own goals for their own reasons in your business, the aggregation of which means that your business starts to grow exponentially, almost without any necessarily proactive input from you. But obviously you add that because you're priming the pump, priming your own pump, you can receive the reward that much faster. And here are the rewards. Once you make double diamond, $150,000 of value, triple diamond, $500,000 of value, crown diamond, $1 million of value. It's $1.65 million of lifestyle value the company will pay on your behalf as you look to build out your portfolio, if you will. Keep in mind, you've also received all those other bonuses. You've also, by this stage, receiving significant amounts of money from the Infinity share bonuses on a consistent, residual, recurring monthly basis. So, what are the action items here? Well, achieve the rank of diamond, then onto double diamond, triple diamond, and crown diamond. Help others get where they want to go, which gets you where you want to go. Start planning your lifestyle. Not just dreaming about it, but actually start executing on it. And please feel free to go earn them all. Again, no constraints in terms of time or people. They're all there for you whenever you want to go get them. If you will, those checks have been issued, they just haven't been sent because you just haven't checked the box relative to the performance. In summary, here's a whole bunch of numbers. Don't bother memorizing that. Again, just familiarizing yourself with the look of that. That's in the company materials. This summarizes the whole thing. Get familiar with how this is structured. The one thing I will recommend to you is that second column is the recommended leg structure. That's not the required leg structure, but more often than not, that's how the volumes required will manifest themselves in the ranks in your respective legs. It's a great way, if you will, to put a face on the volumes. Some of these numbers get pretty big and pretty hard to get your mind around. If you know that at director or senior director, for example, you're going to need a director in one leg, a director in another leg, and at least a senior manager or so in the third leg. It may not be that's how your business actually manifests itself, but that gives you a good guidance as to I can look in leg one and who in that leg can I help become a director? Ah, I see that individual. Let's go working with them and set that goal. Likewise leg two, likewise leg three. As I say, it helps you put a face on that volume, which helps us sometimes focus in on the helping of the individual to get to a certain rank. Our helping them is clearly good for them, but it's also the residual benefit is clearly good for us. Again, a chart we want you to be familiar with. Just want to show it to you here so you can, and when you see it again, you can say, well, I've seen that before and I'm familiar with it. So, here's the summary. At the end of the day, it only works if you do. This is an industry-leading, powerful compensation plan with unique features only available at Unicity. We've designed it that way. We know how to spend the money that comes through our hands for maximum return for you. Our job, our focus is to return as much as possible in the most efficient manner possible to those who are the key folks in the building of the business. However, focus on and become expert at Fast Start and Director Lifestyle Bonus for those first few months. That's what's going to drive your check. That's what therefore should drive your activity. And what you do is you help others get to where they want to go. Help them get to where you've just been or to where you're at, and you'll get what you want. Don't focus inwardly, focus outwardly. Help people get where they want to go. Help them get where you just are. That will get you where you want to go. It's all here for you. Clearly, we have a well thought through, comprehensive, powerful plan. If you go to work. If we go to work. So as a consequence of that, let's go to work. Thank you.